Have you ever felt drained trying to hold on to people who no longer value you? You give, you try, you care, yet somehow you're left empty. Mufti Menk beautifully reminds us, sometimes the most powerful act of faith is to let go and focus on yourself. In a world that constantly pulls your attention outward, Islam teaches you to turn inward, toward your heart, your peace, and your connection with Allah. This video will open your eyes to the strength of walking away, the beauty of healing, and the power of self-worth through the lens of Islamic wisdom. 1. Letting go brings inner peace. Holding on to people who no longer align with your values can silently drain your emotional and spiritual energy. Islam emphasizes tranquility of the heart, and sometimes that peace comes only when you step away from what disturbs your soul. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of wisdom and self-care. When you release people who no longer serve your growth, you make space for what truly matters: your connection with Allah, your personal development, and your emotional stability. True peace begins the moment you stop forcing what Allah never wrote for you to keep. 2. Some people are just lessons. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Allah places certain people in our lives for a specific time and purpose, to teach us, test us, or guide us towards something greater. When that purpose is fulfilled, their departure is not a loss, but a part of divine wisdom. Holding on to temporary people can delay your growth and distract you from your true path. Recognizing when a person's chapter in your life has ended allows you to move forward with clarity. Life becomes lighter when you understand that every soul you meet is part of Allah's plan. 3. Islam encourages self-respect and boundaries. In Islam, honoring your dignity is a form of faith. The Prophet ﷺ emphasized kindness, but also taught us not to allow others to harm or belittle us. Setting boundaries is not arrogance. It's a reflection of knowing your worth in the eyes of Allah. When you protect your emotional and spiritual well-being, you create space to worship, grow, and serve with sincerity. Islam doesn't ask you to tolerate abuse or neglect in the name of patience. It calls you to balance, being compassionate without compromising your self-respect. Healthy boundaries are a shield, not a wall of pride. 4. Seeking validation is emotionally draining. When your sense of worth depends on the approval of others, you hand them control over your emotions. Constantly trying to please people leads to exhaustion, disappointment, and self-doubt. Islam teaches us to seek the pleasure of Allah above all else, because His opinion is the only one that truly matters. People's praise or criticism can change overnight, but Allah's justice and mercy are constant. True peace comes when you stop performing for the world and start living for your Creator. Let your actions be sincere, not shaped by who's watching, but by who you're accountable to. 5. Your worth is not defined by others. Your value is not determined by how others treat you, speak about you, or whether they choose to stay in your life. Allah created you with honor and purpose, and that dignity remains regardless of people's opinions. Human beings are flawed. They judge, misunderstand, and sometimes reject what they don't appreciate. But your worth is constant in the sight of Allah, who knows your heart, intentions, and struggles. When you internalize this truth, you stop chasing acceptance and start walking in confidence. Never allow someone's inability to value you make you question your own significance or potential. 6. Focus on your relationship with Allah. When everything around you feels uncertain, your relationship with Allah becomes your anchor. People may walk away, Seasons may change, but Allah remains constant, ever close, ever merciful. Instead of chasing fleeting connections, invest in your spiritual growth. Make time for sincere dua, reflect on the Quran, and seek closeness through acts of worship. The stronger your bond with Allah, the less shaken you'll be by external losses. True fulfillment doesn't come from others. It flows from a heart that trusts its Creator. Prioritizing this connection transforms loneliness into strength and turns solitude into sacred space for healing and clarity. 7. Walking away is a form of strength. It takes courage to walk away from relationships or environments that no longer align with your values or growth. Many stay out of fear of being alone, judged, or misunderstood. But Islam encourages strength, rooted in wisdom. When you choose to step back for the sake of your peace and well-being, you're not giving up, you're rising above. Strength isn't always loud or aggressive. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to protect your heart and move forward with dignity. Letting go gracefully, without bitterness, is a sign of maturity and trust in Allah's greater plan for your life. 8. Love and detach for the sake of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ taught us to love others sincerely, but always for the sake of Allah. This means loving without attachment to outcomes and being willing to part ways when a relationship no longer brings goodness or aligns with faith. When love is rooted in dunya alone, it becomes possessive and fragile. But when it's based on deen, it's pure and purposeful. Detaching doesn't mean you never cared. It means you value your faith and well-being above temporary emotions. Loving for Allah's sake teaches balance. You give with sincerity, but you're also ready to let go when it's time. 9. Trust Allah's plan over what you leave behind. Letting go can feel painful, especially when you don't see what's ahead. But as believers, we trust that Allah never takes without giving something better in return. What you release, whether it's a person, opportunity, or attachment, was never meant to stay if it pulls you away from your purpose. Allah's wisdom surpasses our limited understanding. When you let go for His sake, you're not losing. You're making room for something greater. Trust that His plan is always working in your favor, even when it's hidden. What's written for you will find you, in the best time and in the best way. 10. Prioritize healing and self-development. When you stop chasing people, you create the space needed to truly heal. Emotional wounds, if left unattended, quietly affect your choices and relationships. Islam encourages reflection, tafakkur, and personal growth. Take time to understand yourself, your triggers, patterns, and pain, and work on becoming a better version of who Allah created you to be. Healing isn't selfish, it's essential. Through journaling, prayer, seeking knowledge, and surrounding yourself with good company, you rebuild from the inside out. Focus on becoming whole, not for others, but for your own journey toward Allah. That's where true strength and transformation begin. Letting go isn't weakness, it's a sign of emotional strength and deep faith. When you choose to focus on yourself and your relationship with Allah, you begin to heal, grow, and walk the path He has written for you with clarity and confidence. Remember, what's meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant to stay. Let your heart find peace in Allah's plan. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ascendine for more soul-nourishing reminders. Let's grow together on this journey of faith and purpose.